God bless you. God bless you. I wanted and thought about how it is. Uh, it's amazing how the Lord will give you He'll give you a word of comfort while your nerves sometimes are fleeting and your nerves going every which way and you're feeling like you're running a race that isn't quite successful. And recently I had a time where I saw a lot of my former contemporaries and they've gone on to their next place. And then, you start looking at yourself, what are they doing that I'm not doing? And then you get hit with the fact the Lord just told me. He says, Steve, it's the difference between being a company man and being a visionary. Wow. That one hit me, but it gave me comfort because I'm not saying that every visionary is necessarily a rebel, but vision a lot of times deals with open revelation, what God is saying now. And a lot of people represent what God has said. So sometimes, we're commanded by Isaiah 58, verse 1, to cry aloud, spare not, lift up thy voice like a trumpet, and show my people their transgression and the house of Jacob their sins. A lot of company men will never move the nettle. They'll never stir the pot. They'll never get out. They're only going to do that which is safe. And sometimes you'll look up by their decision to stay safe, they have the trinkets. They have more than you. They may have ascended. But sometimes that may come at a loss for the people that they serve. The Bible says in Proverbs 29, verse 18, where there is no vision, where there's no open revelation, the people perish. Sometimes following a company script, lockstep, doesn't necessarily give you that which would break the chains that your people are, that would free your people. I'm not saying anybody's in lockup, but some of us are in mental lockup. Where there's no vision, the people perish. That in another in another way, in some passages from the commentators, they said the people cast off restraint. They just let go. Everybody's going their own which way because there's no vision. There's no open revelation. They heard what God has said, but sometimes they're not hearing what God is currently saying. But he said, but he that keepeth the law happy is he, happy or blessed is he. I was reminded of what Paul wrote to the church at Corinth in 1 Corinthians 2, verses 7 and 8, before he started talking about eyes haven't seen and ears hadn't heard, and neither has entered into the hearts of men the good things that God has prepared for those that love him. But before he said that, he said, but we speak the wisdom of God in a mystery, or in mysterion, even the hidden wisdom, which God ordained before the world unto our glory, which none of the princes of this world knew. For had they known it, they would not have crucified the Lord of glory. Sometimes the princes of this world, by their conventional wisdom, sometimes will miss something that God reveals in a mystery. So if you're a visionary, why are you thinking you're going to have some walk in the park? Joseph was a visionary, and his brothers couldn't even speak peaceably about him. But Joseph one time had to come back after the culmination of all things in Genesis 50. Joseph told his brothers, but God sent me before you to preserve life. So it was not you that sent me. What they had meant for evil, visionary, what some folks have come at you time and again with, what they mean for evil, God will use that very same thing for your good. God sent you before them to preserve life. You are coming to be a deliverer for your people. You may be few in number. And David, when David wanted his army to be great, David says, and the children of Issachar, which were men that had understanding of the times, to know what Israel ought to do, the heads of them were 200, and all their brethren were at their command. This small group of men, they understood the times and they knew what Israel should do. David didn't go to the other tribes. Other tribes had amazing numbers, but these 200 men understood the times and they knew what Israel should do. Visionaries, your numbers may not be great and you'll suffer some blows along the way, but keep understanding the times. God will one day bless you for walking as a visionary. Be blessed. Be blessed.